group is getting seated, we're going to go ahead and get started. In front of you, you have members of the Four Seasons Theater. Four Seasons Theater is one of Madison's premier theater production companies. They have a list of musicals up here on the stage. I just want you all to know I was in Les Mis in 2013. First and last. Oh my God, it was so scary. I know, thank you for giving me that. No, these people are tremendous actors and singers. And this group in particular, as Tamara will talk to you about, they do community outreach. So they are here to educate you about one of our country's most prolific composers of a contemporary style of music. And so I'm not going to say anything more because I don't want to spoil it. Go ahead. Please welcome Four Seasons Theater.
We're going to be sharing some music with you from a composer named Irving Berlin, one of the premier Great American Songbook songwriters. We hope that maybe you'll recognize a few of these tunes. We hope you'll learn a few things, and we hope maybe you'll find some new favorites as well. Come on along, let me take you by the hand. Up to the man, who's the leader of the band. And if you care to hear the Swanee River play in ragtime, come on and hear Alexander's Ragtime Band. Thank you for that warm welcome. So if I say the phrase Great American Songbook to y'all, how many of you know what that means? Okay, so a few hands. So when I say Great American Songbook, we're talking about the songs written from about 1920 to about 1960. These are songs that were either written as popular songs, written for Broadway musicals, written for Hollywood musicals, and they became standards that jazz performers and other recording artists would perform. We're going to be looking at one particular songwriter today, that being Irving Berlin. Before I do that, though, I should back up and say, hi, my name is Tamara Brognano. I'm the outreach coordinator for Four Seasons Theater. As Ms. Yancey said, Four Seasons Theater is a local company. We are now celebrating 20 years of making musical theater here in Madison, and we're so glad to be here with you today for Fine Arts Week. So, Irving Berlin. The story of Irving Berlin is a quintessentially American success story. He was born Israel Berlin, the youngest of 6 children of a Jewish cantor, and he arrived at Ellis Island in 1893 at the age of 5. His family had fled persecution in Russia to join the melting pot of immigrants in New York City. So after his father's death, a 14-year-old Izzy struck out on his own, first earning coins as a busker, singing popular songs in bars. And as he grew older, he found work as a boomer. Now, at this time, a boomer meant someone who was paid to sit in the audience of a Broadway show, applaud loudly at the songs, and try to get the audience to sing along with the refrain. By age 16, he had landed work as a singing waiter in a Chinatown cafe. And it was during his time as a singing waiter that he first began to write his own songs and teach himself to play the piano. At age 21, he had his first bona fide hit, that song that began our program, Alexander's Ragtime Band. Now that song alone earned him $30,000 in royalties, which if you turn that into 2024 dollars, that's over $1 million off of that one song. This next song we're going to do for you is a song from the very first stage musical that Irving Berlin wrote. It's a 1914 production called Watch Your Step. This song is one of several counterpoint duets that Irving Berlin wrote. A counterpoint duet being a duet where you have two separate melodies that then come together in the final stanza. Popular songwriter and Broadway songwriter of the day. But he would go on to even broader success with the great Hollywood musicals of the 1930s and 1940s. We can't think of the stars of that golden era of movie musicals, stars like Bing Crosby, Donald O'Connor, or Rosemary Clooney, without also hearing Irving Berlin's songs. So here's a set of songs from Irving Berlin's work in the golden age of the Hollywood musical, first from the 1948 film Easter Parade, and then from the 1937 film On the Avenue.
If I seem to scintillate, it's because I've got a date with the package of the good things that come with love. You don't have to ask me, won't waste your time. But if you should ask me why I feel sublime, I'm stepping out with my baby. Can't go wrong 'cause I'm in right. It's for sure, not for maybe, that I'm all dressed up tonight. I'm stepping out with my honey. Can't be bad to feel so good. Never felt quite so sunny, and I keep on knocking wood. They'll be smooth sailing 'cause I'm trimming my sails in my top hat and my white tie and my tails. I'm stepping out with my baby. Can't go wrong 'cause I'm in right. Ask me when tonight I'm stepping out with my baby. Can't go wrong 'cause I'm in right. It's for sure, not for maybe, that I'm all dressed up tonight. I'm stepping out with my honey. Can't be bad, feel this good. Never felt quite so sunny, and I keep on knocking wood. They'll be smooth sailing 'cause I'm trimming my sails with a bright shine on my shoes and on my nails. I'm stepping out with my baby. Can't go wrong 'cause I'm in right. Ask me when will the day be? The big day may be tonight.
Snow is snowing, the wind is blowing, but I can weather the storm. What do I care how much it may storm? I've got my love to keep me warm. I can't remember a worse December. Just watch those icicles fall. What do I care if icicles fall? I've got my love to keep me warm. Off with my overcoat, off with my gloves. I need no overcoat. I'm burning with love. My heart's on fire. The flame grows higher, so I can weather the storm, storm, storm. What do I care how much it may storm? I've got my love to keep me warm. Off with my overcoat, off with my gloves. I need no overcoat. I'm burning with love. My heart's on fire. The flame grows higher, so I will weather the storm, storm, storm. What do I care how much it may storm? I've got my love to keep me warm.
So Irving Berlin is a complicated figure when we think about the history of music and racism. Some of his early songs rely on racial stereotypes from that era and are definitely offensive to the modern ear. But there's also evidence that Irving Berlin grew in his support of racial equality over time. His 1927 song, Puttin' on the Ritz, poked fun at African Americans in Harlem dressed to the nines. But the song was also featured in a 1930 film of the same name that featured the first racially integrated ensemble in a Hollywood musical, which was an important first in a time when the entertainment industry, like the rest of the country, was highly discriminatory and segregated. And Irving Berlin even later revised the lyrics to that song, acknowledging that the original words were offensive. And we also know that he championed African American performers at a time when they were routinely treated very differently from white performers. He had a 1933 Broadway review called As Thousands Cheer, and this show featured a really amazing African American performer named Ethel Waters. She was the lone African American in a headlining crew of otherwise white performers. And during the show's tryout in Philadelphia, 3 of the white stars told Irving Berlin they would not bow with Ethel Waters. Well, Irving Berlin told them, well, I'll respect your wishes, so there's no bows. Done. Well, the next night, the white stars folded, and they all bowed as a cast. So please enjoy this song, Puttin' on the Ritz.
Have you seen the well-to-do
American citizen when he was drafted into the Army to serve in World War I. He was already a very successful and very famous songwriter by this time, but still, he reported for duty and was stationed at Camp Upton in Long Island, New York. Now, the Army wasn't stupid. They knew what they had. So they immediately recruited Irving Berlin to write a musical review for Camp Upton to raise funds for a community center on the base. And Irving Berlin jumped at the chance to do this because the commanding officers promised him he could keep his regular songwriting hours, which were well into the wee hours of the morning, and he wouldn't have to get up with the trumpet's call at 5 o'clock in the morning anymore. So this next song reflects how Irving Berlin felt about that early morning trumpet call. The other day I chanced to meet a soldier friend of mine. He'd been at camp for several weeks and he was looking fine. His muscles had developed and his cheeks were rosy red. I asked him how he liked the life, and this is what he said. Oh, how I hate to get up in the morning. Oh, how I'd love to remain in bed. For the hardest blow of all is to hear the bugle call. You gotta get up, you've gotta get up, you've gotta get up this morning. Someday I'm going to murder the bugler. Someday they're going to find him dead. I'll amputate his reveille and step upon it heavily and spend the rest of my life in bed. The bugler in the Army is the luckiest of men. He wakes the boys at 5 and then goes back to bed again. He doesn't have to blow again until the afternoon. If everything goes well with me, I'll be a bugler soon. Oh, how I hate to get up in the morning. Oh, how I'd love to remain in bed. For the hardest blow of all is to hear the bugler call. You've gotta get up, you've gotta get up, you've gotta get up this morning. Oh boy, the minute the battle is over. Oh boy, the minute the foe is dead. I'll put my uniform away and move to Philadelphia and spend the rest of my life in bed. So when the United States entered World War II, Irving Berlin volunteered to produce another all-Army Broadway show to bolster morale at home and to benefit the Army Emergency Relief Fund. So Irving Berlin pulled a few songs from his World War I review and reused them, including the song that you just heard, which Irving Berlin himself sang in every performance. Now, Irving Berlin personally recruited performers who had already either joined up or had been drafted in the Army, both white and African American performers, forming, in effect, the first racially integrated unit in the U.S. Army. The show This Is the Army opened on Broadway in 1942 with a 359-man all-Army cast, including a number of men who performed in drag. The show quickly took on a life of its own, spawning first a national tour, then a movie, and then an international tour to entertain the troops abroad in Europe, North Africa, and the South Pacific. And during the 3 years that Irving Berlin performed and toured with the show, approximately 2.5 million soldiers and civilians saw that production. But before World War I was even a thing for the United States, when Hitler was just coming to power, Irving Berlin felt called to craft an American anthem of both patriotism and peace. So in 1938, he took a song that he had written back in 1918 at that Army camp. and he revised the lyrics, creating a stirring vision of all that he loved about his adopted song. The result is this next song, and if you know the words, we invite you to join with us. Thank you. So at this point in our program, I'd like to introduce to you these performers that we're enjoying here today. Starting from the far end, Kelsey Ann Johnson, Lisa Irving, Kevin Blakesley, and at the piano, the fabulous Joy Bowman. So of all the musicals that Irving Berlin created for Broadway and Hollywood, probably the best known one today is his 1954 film, White Christmas, which featured Bing Crosby, Danny Kaye, and Rosemary Clooney. So we're going to give you a set of songs from that wonderful holiday treat.
When I'm worried and I can't sleep, I count my blessings instead of sheep, and I fall asleep, counting my blessings when my bankroll is getting small. I think of when I had none at all, and I fall asleep, counting my blessings
was also a savvy businessman. He wrote the songs, he owned the publishing house that printed the songs, and he owned the Music Box Theater, where the songs were performed as part of his Broadway revues. And when the radio became a big driver of sales, he was on top of that change as well. This next song was Irving Berlin's first big radio-driven hit, which was eventually recorded by many recording artists, including Bing Crosby, Billie Holiday, Dinah Washington, Andy Williams, and Aretha Franklin.
You can't stop people from talking, and they're talking, my dear. And the things they're saying fill my heart with fear. Now I could never believe them when they say you're untrue. I know that they're mistaken. Still, I want to hear it from you. Say it isn't so. Say it isn't so. Everyone is saying you don't love me. Say it isn't so. Everywhere I go, everyone I know whispers that you're growing tired of me. Say it isn't so. People say that you found somebody new, and it won't be long before you leave me. Say it isn't true. Say that everything is still okay. That's all I want to know. And what they're saying, say it isn't so. And it won't be long before you leave me. Say it isn't true. Say that everything is still okay. That's all I want to know. And what they're saying, say it isn't so.
We're going to wrap up our program with two songs from Irving Berlin's most successful musical, and that was Annie, Get Your Gun.
Taking stock of what I have and what I haven't. What do I find? The things I have will keep me satisfied. Checking up on what I have and what I haven't. What do I find? A healthy
we'd like to invite you to visit our website, fourseasonstheater.com, to learn about upcoming programs and events. And we're going to leave you with one last song that Irving Berlin wrote about the business that he loved